Okay, so I have just put together sort of an outline for myself to use in talking about Boulder and Colorado and everything that we associate with what we call location in the classroom. So I'm going to give it my first shot. It's the first time I've done it. I like a lot of the content, sort of like the way that I think it's going to flow, but I need to practice it, figure out whether it works, whether I need to improve the way that I describe some of it. So here we go. So, obviously CU is located in Boulder, Colorado, and, the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Boulder, Colorado is it's the happiest city in America. And for lots of good reasons. I mean, we have a lot going for us right here. But, when I start to think about Boulder, Colorado, the first thing I think about is CU. And of all the things that Boulder has to identify with, CU is by far the biggest thing that we identify with. We have a population of about 90,000 people that is here, working and living with 30,000 students at the university. And I don't like the way this is going at all. All right, start over. Well, I got to get to where I want to talk about the university, and then from there. Okay, here we go. Number 2. So when I think about, where it is that we go to school, it's hard to look past the fact that we go to school at one of the most beautiful college campuses in the nation. It's located in the happiest city in the nation, which is located in what is arguably the most beautiful state in the nation. And in addition to its beauty, there are all kinds of extracurricular activities that are available to us, and it has attracted some unbelievably interesting, smart, diverse kinds of people. And so, I can't imagine living anywhere else. I really can't. And, having the opportunity to come to work here now 2 or 3 days a week, I've gotten to see firsthand how beautiful our campus is. And, it's not a surprise that we're rated one of the most beautiful college campuses in the nation. If you just walk around and have a look at what's out there. It starts with the wonderful architecture of the buildings. All of the buildings follow the same basic theme, with the Colorado sandstone on the faces, and then topped with the red tile roofs. And it's almost like you're in Tuscany or someplace like that when you're walking around the campus. But then on top of that, there are all kinds of quadrangles and green spaces and beautiful trees and babbling brooks and creeks and things like that. And if you just walk around, you'll kind of get lost in the fact that you're in such a beautiful place. And I oftentimes think of one particular day early on in the time that I've been teaching here, where I went out just to get away for a little bit and went walking around. And I ended up over by Farron Field, which is right in the middle of the campus outside of the Norland Library. And I decided I was just going to sit down and kind of relax. And I was watching a group of students that were out there throwing a Frisbee around. And one of the kids yelled out, "Hey, professor, we need one more." It turns out that it was one of my students who I knew. And I thought, well, I don't know how to throw a Frisbee very well, but it sounds like fun, so I'll give it a shot. And I went out there and, they kind of took me on just as if I was one of them. And I certainly tried very hard to treat them as if they were one of me. And there was no student-professor thing working. It was just people that were happy to be in the moment. And, I embarrassed myself with the first 2 or 3 or 15 or 20 throws of the Frisbee, but finally got to where I got a little bit of a feel for the whole thing. And just when I'm starting to find my groove, I hear the marching band. And here they come walking from the stadium over to where we were playing, practicing for the game that was going to be held on campus the very next day, and proceeded to basically take over the green space that we were playing in. And we were happy to yield. I mean, it was kind of like, wow, it's almost like they were playing for us. And so I hung around for another 10 or 15 minutes and listened to them play the fight song and watched the camaraderie that existed between the band members, and students began to gather and they were watching as well. And it was really just a fabulous day. And, it may not sound like a lot, but it was really, really cool. So it's a great campus, and you wouldn't have to leave the campus to be happy. There's more than enough here to make people feel wonderful, just wonderful. But if you do want to leave, there are things that are right outside the campus that make for lots of fun as well. So adjacent to the campus is the area that we refer to as the Hill. The Hill is where most of the college students go to shop, to get a coffee, to have a meal, to hang out at night, to listen to music. And it has a very eclectic crowd made up of college students as well as adults, some people that come in from, the local area towns and things like that. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go over there, but it's mostly fun for the college students. And if they get tired of that, then 5 minutes down the hill is the city center of Boulder. And the city center of Boulder consists of about 6 blocks of a pedestrian walkway that's finished in this Colorado paving stone and is landscaped with lots of nice flower beds, fountains, stone sculptures, and things like that. And then all the shops and restaurants and bars on Pearl Street are, pretty cool, pretty nice. Maybe a step up from what you would find on the hill, a little bit more touristy, but also more in touch with the business community and the residents of Boulder. And that's pretty much where we go for our entertainment, but students go there as well and hang out. And it's a wonderful place. I mean, it's so good that there have been several small towns across America that have tried to emulate, what it is that Boulder has built with the Pearl Street Mall. And so that's very, very cool. And again, I mean, we don't have to go very far to get to any of this, but if we were up for a 30-minute bus ride or drive in almost any direction, we'd be met with yet again some great opportunities. So 30 minutes to the south of us is Denver. And Denver offers all the things that you would expect a major metropolitan area to offer. We've got 4 professional sports teams. We've got theater, ballet. We've got all of the restaurants and clubs that you would expect to see in a major city center. We've got the airport, which is conveniently located to campus and makes it easy for students to get to home and back if they are from outside of the area. And so Denver's great. And 30 minutes in the other direction, if you head to the north, you've got Estes Park, which is the gateway into Rocky Mountain National Park, which is, I don't know how many tens of thousands of acres of undisturbed beauty and lots of hiking trails with babbling brooks and waterfalls and wildlife. And if you were just to spend 2 hours on a hike in Rocky Mountain National Park, you'd probably run into, deer and elk and moose and bald eagles. And it's just amazing, what is up there. And then 30 minutes to the west of us is a local area ski resort called Eldora, which sits at the top of the Continental Divide. And if it weren't for the fact that, they sort of are in the shadows of the major ski resorts, it'd be one of the top 10 ski mountains in the United States. And it's a bus ride away. And unfortunately for us, when we get a powder day, students get on the bus and up the hill they go. And they jump into the powder, and you can hardly blame them for doing that. So, that's and then if you go another hour beyond that, you're up into all of the beautiful Rocky Mountain ski areas and resorts where you can do all kinds of things that are sort of an outdoorsman's dream. You can hunt, you can fish, you can ski, you can bike, you can whitewater raft. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the reason that I'm so excited about this aspect of what it is that we have to offer is because if you think about it, let's just do the math very quickly. If there are 16 weeks in a semester and there are 2 semesters in a year, 4 years in a career, do the math. That's 8 times 16. Is that 200 days or thereabouts? Every day is a good day. Even with all the pressure that's on students to do their studies, complete their assignments, pass their exams. You combine that with the pressure that's on athletes to give time to their sport. You're going to need a break. You're going to need to pull away every once in a while. You're going to need to go outside for a breath of fresh air or a walk around. And I mean, there's never a bad day. Okay, so I think I like the idea. What I want to do with this, I want to do the math on the number of days that a student spends on campus in a 4-year career. And I kind of want to make the point that there are more of those days than there are days playing football or games in a year, hours in the classroom. And I'd like to kind of make this the number one criteria that a student would use to decide where to go to school. Now, whether or not it works, I don't know. But, from a strategy perspective, if I could just get to where football was a coin flip and education was a coin flip, that this one would be the thing that would bring us the deal. So I'll keep working on it, and I'm heading out here to meet a couple of friends in a few minutes. I may even give it a shot with them and see how I do. All right, hope you're all practicing.